When you call 911, you want the most qualified team there as quickly as possible. But one Central Texas fire department has actually taken over running ambulances to recoup costs.
And now, after months under the new system, KXAN investigator Robert Maxwell finds out if it's really saving money or putting you at greater risk.
He was unconscious because I went over to say something to him, and he didn't respond.
Inside Linda and David McKee's RV, parked by Lake Georgetown.
And they started checking, the pulse and the heart rate, and when they couldn't find a pulse, they took me outside.
77-year-old David was dying of a massive heart attack. 2 months and a triple bypass surgery later, McKee says he's thankful Georgetown's paramedic system worked as it was supposed to. City leaders recently recognized the firefighters that saved his life. Some are trained as full-fledged paramedics. Now, that idea isn't new, but firefighters taking on the role of actually transporting patients to local hospitals is less common in Central Texas.
We just don't show up to work to respond to fires or to motor vehicle collisions. We know that our bread and butter is going to be EMS services.
Before last October, if you got sick in Georgetown, a city of 65,000, the long-standing county ambulance service would come to your aid. First, the fire department would arrive, then paramedics would come separately in an ambulance. And that's the way county EMS leaders say they wanted it to stay, touting a better quality of care and more experience.
We still think fracturing the system fractures the care.
That was part of a presentation made to Georgetown City Council late in 2014.
What I worry about, if we fragment the system for the first several years, in John Snead's opinion, personal opinion, there's going to be an A team and a B team. I don't know how else to put it. There is going to be time that the City of Georgetown Fire is going to have to catch up.
County EMS Director John Snead stands by his comments today. In fact, in neighboring Round Rock and Cedar Park, both larger cities than Georgetown, the more traditional model remains. Yet Georgetown's fire chief says today his fire-based EMS crews are trained to do it all. But why such a move? Money, as in recouping local costs.
Should a fire department be in the revenue and collections business?
I have a hard time explaining to the taxpayers when I'm charging them X amount of dollars per year for services, yet not charging the insurance company hundreds of dollars that could be reimbursed for us per call.
Last fall, Georgetown's fire chief started off running 3 ambulances. Now, as the number of calls has increased above expectations, he's had to add a 4th ambulance and more staff to cover the busiest periods. But even today, the chief admits his ambulances haven't been arriving at calls as quickly as they should.
Are you meeting expectations when it comes to medical calls?
We're meeting our expectations. There's a couple different standards that are out there that talk to the arrival times. Ideally, to have an ambulance with advanced care capabilities arrive within 9 minutes, 90% of the time. Our initial analysis shows that we're there about 80% of the time.
80%. Now, KXAN compared response times. We looked at a same period a year earlier when county ambulances were still running in Georgetown. Williamson EMS made its response times then 92% of the time, well within national standards, Robert.
Well, how does Georgetown Fire plan to get to its medical calls faster this year?
The plan is this. You put one of those paramedics, those cross-trained paramedics, on a fire engine that has cardiac gear and certain medicines, and then when they get to the patient, that paramedic will jump on the ambulance that follows along.
Robert, thank you very much. And Chief Sullivan says the city's 5 fire engines will be ready to carry high-level paramedics by the end of summer. He's going before the Georgetown City Council tomorrow to update the public on the actual number of emergency calls it's getting and to spell out if he needs more money this year.